I grew up in a small town back in southeast Missouri. I am the youngest of 12. I have 9 brothers and 2 older sisters. A few of my brothers have OD'd and have already passed, and one of my sisters. I come from in a broken home. My father left when I don't even remember. I'm so young. My mother was an alcoholic. She was very abusive. I come from a line of incest and sexual abuse from some of my older brothers. And just like I said, there was just a lot of abuse in the home. My mother was very angry. There was a lot of drinking and drugs and a lot of drama and everything going on. By the time I was 12, I was pretty much on my own. I started drinking and doing drugs. At that point, I was running away from home a lot. By the time I was 15, I was full blown in my addiction of alcohol and drugs, and I was living on the streets. I was going from place to place. Throughout my life, I've been in domestic violence relationships, one right after the other, searching for love, for a place to be, a place to belong. So in all of that, the drugs and alcohol had a hold of me. It was my way of escape. It was my way of being. It's what I knew. It's how I was raised. So as I get older, I continue on this path of destruction, of course, and I finally end up moving to Oklahoma, into a relationship with someone. And as I got into that relationship, I thought that was going to be the one. It turned out to be very abusive. I was strangled. I was beat up. And I ended up in the domestic violence shelter in Tulsa. And after the domestic violence shelter, I was in the Tulsa streets, trying to live, still being on drugs, still being on alcohol. So in the many weeks that I was in Tulsa on the railroad tracks, or that part of the community, I had, I guess, what you could call a friend who offered me a place to stay. That place to stay was in a tent underneath a bridge. And it was the only place she had to live. She offered it to me, and I was grateful. But God got a hold of me and told me, this is not how you have to live. You don't have to do this. So rehab opened up. I went to rehab down in Valiant, Oklahoma. I was there for 45 days. And in that time, I started to wake up a little bit more and started praying a little bit more, started, come to realize that life doesn't have to be the way it has always been. So lo and behold, I end up on Nehemiah's doorsteps. They didn't even know I was coming. So it was great that they took me in. I'm very grateful. But I had to leave rehab and have a place to go. And Nehemiah is where God led me. So when I showed up on the steps, they brought me in as family. They've loved me, and they've really taught me that I could have a family. That family is about love. It's not about trauma and violence and abuse. It's not about those things. It's about love, transparency, vulnerability, connection, God. So within the last 9-10 months, I've been on this journey with God to learning who I am and who God wants me to be. So I'm still walking that path today of learning God, getting closer to God, learning about Christ, learning who Christ is, and understanding my life doesn't have to be what it was. But I am grateful for what it is today.